Welcome back to Traveling in a New Vegan World Summit 2022. I am Donna Zeichfinger of Green Earth Travel, and I'm one of the organizers of this great summit. So welcome everyone, and we are happy to have you all join us for this session. I would love to introduce you Tony Bishop Weston from originally how I know you is from Scotland, but he's from the UK, and we're going to be talking about Scotland today. Before we get started, I need to do a little bit of housekeeping. Please feel free to ask questions in the live chat and add comments. We want them, please, we want to hear from you. And the replays will be available within 24 hours of the talk ending, and they'll be available until the 5th of February. So with that, I want to introduce Tony and tell us all. You know what? I want to talk about how you and I first met before you start chatting, if you don't mind. Because this is like...
I don't know if I can remember that long ago.
I do. And I remember what year it was, too. And I'll tell you why. It was 1998. And I think it was February of 1998, because it was winter. And it was a surprise present for my husband's 50th birthday.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay. So, and I don't remember how I got a hold of, we were talking about this just a few moments ago, how I got a hold of your photo, but maybe like a magazine or something that I saw, but I saw Tony owned a vegan bed and breakfast back in 1998, or probably earlier. Did you have it?
Yeah. We started in the early 90s and it became vegan in 1994. It was always kind of pseudo vegetarian. We used to occasionally do fish.
Okay.
But then we had a guest that came that was vegan, and she stayed, and from then on we ran it as a vegan guest house.
Yeah. So I mean, I remember the bathroom skylight. I mean, I remember everything about this place. So, and the first time I had haggis was, I had already been vegan for 12 years at that point. And you made me you made my husband and I an amazing vegan haggis, which, to this day, I still talk about. And people are like, how's haggis vegan?
I used to really tease the guests because there was one American couple that came over, and they were convinced I was winding them up, because I said to them in the morning, would you like a traditional Scottish dinner? And they said, oh yeah, that'd be great. I said, okay, so I can make the haggis, but traditionally what you're supposed to have is haggis, neeps and tatties. So you're supposed to have the haggis with boiled potatoes and boiled swede. I said, I haven't got any Swedes, so here's £1. Go into the local town, Ullapool, and buy a Swede. So first of all, he's quite reticent anyway, because, oh, no, I've heard about haggis. It's got, all these horrible things in it. I said, no, it's fine, because, we're obviously vegetarian, so it'll be a kind of vegetarian vegan version of haggis. So no nasties in it. It's all vegetables, nuts and things like that. Okay, fine. So anyway, here's £1. Go into the local town and buy a neep, right? That's what you got to ask. You got to ask for a neep. Now, neep is short for turnip. What you'll actually be getting is a Swede, because you have the Swede because it's mellower and lovely. But in Scotland they call turnips. They called sweet turnips, so they're shortened to neeps. But you'll actually be getting a Swede. But don't complicate it with that. Just ask for a neep. So anyway, he goes to the first shop and they go, oh no, sorry, we haven't got any neeps. Try the next shop. He goes, okay, is this a wind up? I go around and ask to buy a neep, and you go, ha ha ha, big joke on the Americans. No. They go, no, really. I mean, normally we've got neeps, but we haven't got any today, so go to the next shop. So he goes to the next shop, same thing happens. They say, sorry, we haven't got any neeps. Go to the next shop. He said, this is a wind up, right? I got to go around all the shops in town asking for a neep, and it's ha 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 ha. So no, really, it's everyone's normally got neeps. It just so happens that we haven't got any today. So just go to the next shop. So he came back. I think he got some actual little baby turnips. They're much, because a neep is about that big, a swede is about that big, and turnips are usually tiny little things they're white with purple on each end. So that's all he could get, and he still wasn't sure that he hadn't been sent on a wild goose chase, and that I was laughing in cahoots with all the different shopkeepers in Ullapool. But they enjoyed the meal anyway at the end of it, and he had a good laugh. So
that's the history of the vegan haggis.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring up a photo here of you. Hold on, let me screen share here for a second. Wait, where did it go?
Oh yeah.
Is it there?
Those were the days. So that's me in the boat. We had a big blue clinker built wooden boat, dinghy.
Whoops.
And that's me rowing towards Tynamara, which was right on the shore of Loch Broom. So it used to be a shop, because in the days when it was built, everyone moved about by boat.
Right.
Because it's a bit like your backdrop behind you. There's loads and loads of hills all the way around. So the local town was set up as a fishing village, with people going by boat and dropping off 200 people to set up this new town. And it was only in the last, in my lifetime, I guess, since they built a proper road. Because I mean, my friends in Ullapool, the local town, they had stories of having to go to the nearest big town, which was Inverness, and taking a picnic with them because it took so long to get there, because the little tiny single track roads almost for horse and carts. So most people used to move about by boat, and so it was sensible to have a shop on the shore.
Right.
But by the time we got there, when everyone's moving about by cars, it was the nearest place to park was 200 meters up the hill, 200 yards up the hill.
Right.
And you had to walk, I'm sure you remember, all the way down through a field of sheep and poo to get down to the house. Everyone's going, why? This is a crazy place to put a house.
Well, yeah, I mean, so you were really ahead of your time to have a vegan bed and breakfast, especially up in that area, but in the Highlands. It was that was pretty amazing. But I remember lugging big luggage down and up that hill. It was not fun, but it was fun once we got there. It was great. I remember the sheepdogs running after us, when we'd go for walks. So it was a lot of fun. But there was also something else that I'm going to share screen, which is what we're probably going to talk more about, that you're a chef, right?
Yeah.
You still are a chef.
Still a chef. Haven't worked for a few years now over COVID, but still writing, still advising other people.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
We got a little glimpse of what he looked like back then.
Much fitter, much leaner.
Yeah, there you go. So you were what made you decide to do the Naked Vegan Chef?
Well, because of where we were, it's not like usually the tradition is you just put a sign up outside your house and it says B&B, and for a couple of months in the summer, people would go, oh, there's a B&B, we're going to stay there. It was a bit more difficult to do that where we were, because first of all, we were off the road. So you've got to drive for either miles, like 15 minutes at least, to down a dead end, really. it's not something you would pass anyway. And even if you did pass it, we were way down the hill. You couldn't see the house from the little road because it was tucked into the side of the mountain. So, and we also used to have a little tea van at a local attraction, which was this waterfall. And most of the day, because it got really busy for about 20 minutes at a time, where a coach load of people would pull up and the coach driver would say, right, go and get a cup of tea or go and have an ice cream or something. So in between those sort of 20-minute periods, I used to just write postcards to different, organizations and media people. So we had, considering the size of ours, we only took 6 people, considering the size of our place, we had lots and lots and lots of publicity. And the other thing was, because they just couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe that this mad Englishman had come and set up a guest house on the side of a loch without a road to it. Yeah. And we didn't even serve bacon and sausages. You're doing vegan food. Like, so first of all, like, who would want to go there because he only serves vegan food? You can't. It's really hard to get to it. This guy must be crazy. So most of the press, and we were in all of the papers and things, with people basically taking the mickey out of us, saying, these guys are crazy, They've made it like they don't really want you to come, they're starting a guest house on the side of a place that you can't even see it, find it. And then when you get there, they don't even serve you eggs and bacon and sausages and stuff.
Oh, the food was great. I mean, I was like super impressed with it. I don't even know how we found it because there were no signs. There was nothing, like I just remember this like ditch, That's where it was.
The telephone box. We used to say park at the telephone box.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I remember that.
Yeah, and then we give people instructions on how to get down from the telephone box. But
there were no cell phones.
No, there wasn't even any cell phones. That came later. That came a few years
GPS,
later.
Nothing.
I remember. I sort of a few years after I left Tinamara, I got my first cell phone because Vodafone just put up a mast in the somewhere down the loch, so you could actually get a signal in some parts, like in town, you could get a signal. But prior to that, you couldn't. There weren't even cell phones. So unless you were like the army who had satellite phones, it was just this one telephone box. That was it.
Yeah,
it was crazy. But so we gave everyone lots of information on how to find it. And there was one Dutch couple that said they turned up in the middle of January. It was early January. It's just after Hogmanay. And they just knocked on the door, 4th, 5th, 6th of January. And I was just like, I couldn't believe it. I said, what on earth are you doing? I said, well, we saw a little tiny sign up top that says you do B&B. I said, we do? Yeah. And yeah, we're here so you can come in. But what are you doing travelling around Scotland at this time of year? Because the whole of the Highlands is shut. So nobody opened before Easter. And even then, most people didn't open until, say, June, July.
And we were there in February, so I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, that was quite intrepid, but I think you booked, so we knew. But yeah, these Dutch people just turned up on this. Like, I just couldn't believe it that they'd come, and then they found us, and they said, "Well, you're open, yes? Yeah, we're open, but it's just, you're probably the only people travelling around Scotland expecting to find somewhere to stay. Even the hotels were shut. There was, let alone the B&Bs." Anyway, so it was a bit. Our strapline used to be out of the way, out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had lots and lots of publicity, picked by mainly people sort of joking about us, saying, "Oh, these people are absolutely crazy. Why would you want to go there? They don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do that. You can't even find them." But of course, for the proportion of although there was less people that really wanted what we were offering, for those people that we were all there was.
Yeah.
So we got like 90% of all the people that wanted what we did.
Oh, so 90% of them were vegan back then, huh?
No, not well, probably not actually. I think they wanted to try vegan usually. And so I probably only about 30% were actually vegetarian, vegan. 70% were just open to the idea and wanted to try it.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. That I find that a lot, even now to this day, that, you know, a lot of people.
They probably thought that they would come and not eat dinner. But of course, when you come down the hill, yeah, we had a bit of a captive audience, you know, that they didn't really want to, but let's see what you've got, because we don't want to. And it kind of also, well, if you're here and you're more expensive, there must be something that you're doing that means that you're full, because there must be something you're doing, otherwise people wouldn't come. So they'd be intrigued, right? I don't get it. Anyway, yeah. So we ended up like on national radio with a popular DJ, and then the papers would come up because their media machine would kick in, and then the journalists or photographers would come to take a picture to put in the paper. So I think it started with me. Oh, I know what it was. The first one was in a national newspaper. I did an offer where if you booked and came in May, which was the best month because the midges hadn't started yet, not so many tourists yet because places hadn't opened, and but it was a beautiful month, like it was really dry and sunny. And statistically, it never used to really rain in May. And I was really passionate about this. The best time to come to Scotland is May. So I did this thing saying, if you come in May and you get rained on, you get your money back. So again, they thought we were crazy, you know. So they came and took a picture of this mad Englishman standing on the beach with an umbrella, you know, outside the house. So that was. And I didn't have to give anyone that money back. There was one person who got snowed on. They went up a mountain. I said, no, I said rain, not snow. Nobody got rain on.
That is too funny.
Yeah. And so that was the first photo with me with an umbrella. The next one, I was on the radio talking to a famous DJ one morning. And so they came and took a picture of me with a dressing gown, like my girlfriend's dressing gown, and a big kind of sound system on my shoulder, listening to the radio and standing in the lock with my wellies. So when it came to the book.
And were you naked on that one?
No. I had my girlfriend's dressing gown on.
Oh, good. Okay.
And so like the when it came to doing the cookbook, I jokingly said to the photographer, I said, I'll just go and stand in the lock again, but this time I'll take all my clothes off. And they just all went, yeah, great, do that. So we had like pictures of me with a cabbage doing that classic sort of beach ball pose, you know, with a girl standing with a naked apart from a beach ball. I did that with a cabbage, and then we had the bananas. And anyway, and the publisher was really freaking out. She said, they say, okay, you'll get away with it here, but in America, they really will not, they won't tolerate any nudity. So I said, well, why don't you just, I think they came up with they were going to have a little flap with a kilt, so you could lift the kilt up. But I mean, we stuck with it, and it did get banned by a few different bookshops and things like. But that was just extra publicity, because then we could say, our cookbook got banned.
I thought there was a famous chef called the Naked Chef, because
He was after me though. I got there first.
Oh,
and
you beat him out.
he was a few years after. So my kids would always say, "Oh, you're not the naked chef," because my daddy's the naked chef. He really was naked. He was just about Jamie Oliver. He was just about
That's who it was. I knew it was a famous
yeah.
chef. Yeah.
Because he started off, he was driving a moped and then going around all these markets and making things from scratch with fruit and vegetables again.
Right, right. So
but he didn't get naked.
damn it. Well, and he wasn't vegan anyway, so that was fun. That was a lot of fun. So tell us more about Scotland a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the Veggie Fest that you are a part of.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So Scotland's, I think the whole of the UK now has fully embraced veganism. We've had something going every year now for the past, it seems for ages now, 6-7 years, Veganuary. And every year it's just doubled in size, more and more people. Now it's international. It's all over the world, Veganuary.
Did it start in Scotland? Did Veganuary start in Scotland?
No. It was a guy in London.
Okay, that's right.
And he started it, just him and his wife. And then they got sponsors, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it just captured everyone's imagination, because it's perfect time of year, really, because people are thinking about giving things up after the new year and getting fitter, and so it just captured everyone's imagination. And then big stars got involved.
Yeah, Paul McCartney just mentioned it the other day. Actually, it was Mary McCartney that was on national TV. She has a TV show here in the US on cable. Really? On cable. Mary, yeah, she's the chef, right? So she said that she kind of made it sound like her and her dad were the ones who invented it, but I think what she was saying is that they helped promote it back then. They were
because they used to do something called Meat Free Monday, and they did a few.
Well, maybe that's what it was. It was Meat Free Monday. It wasn't Veganuary. Sorry, I'll take that back.
But it's kind of that started first, and then I guess the point of Veganuary was that's a good idea, getting people to try it and discover that it's not as freaky as people used to think. Because now it's everywhere. It's like there's just 10 different vegan sausages in the supermarkets.
Yeah.
It's not just, have you got a vegan sausage? It's like, well, which one do you want? Do you want like this, like that? Like, do you want Spanish chorizo, or do you want a big fat German one, or do you want it Cumberland, or do you want it with caramelized onions? Do you want it frozen? Do you want it fresh? Do you want it old school? It's just mind blowing, the choice we've got. We can get vegan. We just wander into a supermarket and buy vegan camembert now, with a white rind, and it tastes like camembert.
So what about
just in an ordinary supermarket?
So what about vegan restaurants in Scotland? I mean, do you have some favorites? Are there some areas that you prefer?
I think outside of Glasgow and Edinburgh, it's still difficult. And I mean, the trouble is the level has gone up so high, so there's a place in Brighton where we love, and it is absolutely exquisite. It looks beautiful, tastes beautiful. They thought about the different flavors. It's just wonderful the way they put everything together, and it is true entertainment, culinary entertainment. It's just absolutely exquisite and gorgeous.
We actually are having a speaker who lives in Brighton. John Rubin. I have to introduce you to him.
I know John.
Yes.
I'm sure I've met John. Yeah.
Yes. He'll be talking about Brighton later.
Yeah.
Or earlier, depending on when this goes.
I think I met him through, I've got friends who run this kind of vegan promotional. It's a very loose organization, but they just brought out a new film called Eating Our Way to Extinction. And I met him at one of the premieres of that, I think.
Yeah.
But there's just so much going on now. It's just incredible. So I think what's happened now, though, is that nearly all the chains, so there's not so many of those in Scotland as well, but the chains of pubs throughout the UK have now got a decent vegan starter, vegan main course and vegan dessert on their menus. The catering suppliers have got everything you need to create stuff. So they've got the dishes all ready made for the lazy chefs, but they've also got all of the key ingredients. So I used to have to go to Inverness to get from a specialist cooperative whole food wholesaler, and there was only them doing the whole of the Highlands basically, and there was another one in Glasgow that did some of the rest of the country. But now just an ordinary usual supplier that would supply hotels and pubs and restaurants and things, they carry vegan cheese and different types of vegan cheese and cream and all the basic ingredients that you need to make things. So it has got really easy, and it's got so easy that you stand out now if you don't have vegan options on the menu.
Right.
And if because the alternative, you just go to the supermarket and get something, you can get. It's really difficult to not get something.
So is there one restaurant, though? I'm still trying to find your favorite restaurant.
What, in Scotland?
Yeah. Or two, or three. It sounds like there's a few that you.
Well, I've got a friend who's got a load of different pubs in Glasgow. So he's got a kind of. It's really eclectic, so it's difficult to describe them. But it's got kind of a place with a record shop and a cafe and a thing all in one. Then he's got a kind of lunchtime venue, but it's also an evening venue that has music down in the basement. So it's mono stereo. There's another one. There's a pub called the Flying Duck, and they're all delicious, really creative stuff. There's some really, really good Indian restaurants, Chinese restaurants. There's a guy, I'm not sure if actually there used to be a guy in Edinburgh called David Bann who worked for a company, and then he went off and set up his own place. That was really good in Edinburgh. Everyone at the moment is, because I asked this morning on Twitter, I said, any new places that I don't know about in Scotland, and there's a new guest house in Pitlochry, which is kind of midway between where I used to be in Ullapool and Glasgow. And it's a beautiful place, Pitlochry. And they've got it was set up in I think she said 2018 it was set up. So it's not that, last few years, just before lockdown. And I looked at their menu this morning. It is really, really gorgeous.
So let's talk about, as I had mentioned, that you've been a part of the UK Veg Fest. Is that what it's called?
Yes, Veg Fest UK.
When did that start?
Well, I went to work for the Vegan Society in 2003, I think. So I went to work for the Vegetarian Society, and then I got kind of, you should come and work for the Vegan Society because you're a vegan. What are you doing working for the enemy? It's like, it's not the enemy. Come on. But so I went to work for the Vegan Society, and we had this big idea. I think we're coming up to 1944, so Was that 50 years? No, it would have
What?
been. It was a Diamond Jubilee. So 60. So it would have been the 60 years of the Vegan Society.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I thought, we've got to do something because it's a Diamond Jubilee of the Vegan Society. We've got to do something really big. So I started organising this thing and trying to make it global. So they already had World Vegan Day, but nothing really used to happen much.
Right.
Especially outside the UK. But I was trying to encourage other groups to set up all around the world. And I thought, we've got to have a massive event because it's a Diamond Jubilee. So we came up with the idea of doing the Vegan Diamond Jubilee Awards. And we got this logo and got everyone to vote on it. And we managed to get this hotel in London near Tower Bridge, the one that everyone thinks is London Bridge, but it's the Tower Bridge, it's called, and it's got the turrets on it and the big gate that opens up and everything. It's really near there, and it's near where the Queen's got the crown jewels and everything. It's Tower of London. So lovely hotel, and they did fantastic food, and then we had not all these celebrities, we had a few celebrities and business all come together, and we had a fantastic evening of celebration. We had a band that we couldn't get the Beatles for obvious reasons.
Oh, come on.
We got a band that was close as we could get to, I can't remember what they were called, but
so much for being like the Beatles.
they were just like the Beatles.
Just like the Beatles, only no one knew them. Yeah.
Anyway, so it was anyway. So in organising all of that, my friend said, I'm going to start a little vegan festival in Bristol because Bristol's really happening. And I get fed up with everyone saying that Brighton's fantastic because Bristol's really great as well. And he started up this little festival there, and we helped out. And then it just kind of grew and grew and grew and grew. They changed venues, and they ended up with this massive outdoor proper festival in the docks at Bristol. And meanwhile, they set up another one. They did Veg Fest London and the Veg Fest Brighton, Veg Fest. They even did one in Glasgow, and it got really big. And then but then just veganism caught on, so it stopped being such a thing because people said, well, I don't need a festival really to be vegan anymore because it's just everywhere. So that was the first thing. So we were down to just Veg Fest London and Veg Fest Brighton, and then COVID hit, and so Tim did Veg Fest, like Global Veg Fest, which was online with lots of different speakers, and like if you search for that online, there's some fantastic. It's all been recorded, so like you're doing now, you can see lots of things. But so I think we're going to do another one when we can, when everything starts to open up again. He was just organising it, and then we've kind of got version, what's it, Omicron now. So
fun
it's
Omicron.
just really difficult.
Yeah, it is hard, but I think we're going to come out unscathed eventually, right?
Well, they say that people have on a vegan diet are much less or suffer less,
right?
So it helps you battle the disease,
right?
But,
well, we won't go in there. Yeah, no, we're not going to go in that direction.
Go there, no.
But so that's exciting that hopefully this year you'll be able to do it. I'd love to see it in Glasgow. I've been to Glasgow, but only to the airport. which was actually funny. It was funny in itself because we were driving around trying to find where to park or put, I don't remember what it was. And I just remember we rolled down the window and asked the guy where the airport was. And he was like, you got to bend around, and he was talking like that. And then we rolled up our window. We said, thank you, rolled up the windows, and we're like, so where do we go?
Sat nav works over here now.
Well, this is pre-GPS, so we had quite
That's the
an
thing.
adventure, you know.
It's so easy now. I remember there used to be guidebooks from the US,
right,
saying if you go to Scotland and you go north of Glasgow and Edinburgh, be sure to fill up the back seat of your hire car with food, because it was, you know, not just vegan and vegetarian, but for everyday tourists wanting food. You walk into a hotel and say, oh, can I get some lunch? They said, no, it's lunchtime. Chef's having his lunch. They were just crazy. It's unbelievable. No, there's no chef. We're shut for lunch because, you know, the chef has to have his break.
right.
And like Italians would be wandering down the street and they go and see the beach and they'd have a wander around the town, and then come like 9-10 o'clock, they'd be looking for somewhere to eat. Everything's shut.
Right.
It's like you have your tea at 5 o'clock and then you go out drinking.
Right.
You know, never mind about food.
That's your dinner.
Get food beforehand and then you drink for the rest of the evening.
Right.
So even if you wanted to stay open late, you couldn't get the staff because the staff go, no, it's drinking time now. I don't want to be sitting in here being a waiter or a chef or something. I've got to go out drinking. It's like 9 o'clock.
So is it still like that now?
I think it's changed completely with everything. You know, we've got GPS, sat nav, we've got
and people work through
supermarkets. I mean, back then there wasn't even a proper supermarket. There was this little shop on the seafront and another one around the corner. You know, there was a few little ones, but now there's a proper mainstream supermarket that sells everything that the rest of the country sells. You know, so my daughter's still in Ullapool and she can go in there and get vegan ice cream and vegan sausages and everything.
How old is your daughter now? Oh my God. I shouldn't.
I have no idea. 30 something.
What?
She's old. Well, hold on. So, yeah, she must be 30.
Okay.
I've got a grandson.
Oh,
I've got a little grandson who's 5. I'll get told off. He's a young man.
So the future of the Veg Fest, we don't know yet, right?
Yeah, I think it should be going on. I don't know what's happening because I really don't know what's. I know we had the online one, but the whole thing is until COVID's finished, it's just too. It's too risky. It's too difficult.
Yeah,
and you don't want to put all of that effort and resources into it and then find that it's not, you know, that they're going to shut everything down again. So we've kind of got one last chance, really. So it's got to be right, because it's just the money's just dried up because nobody's got any money in that sector, you know, unless you get. And we don't really want to sell out and be just full of all the big companies, you know. It's always survived on being what's new and innovative and artisan and that sort of thing, rather than have Hellman's mayonnaise and Burger King and people like that there. So so you possibly could put it together if you were prepared to get those people. Because the other thing is, it is strictly 100% vegan.
Right.
And so if they're not, you know, so you couldn't have KFC there anyway, because it's KFC that
sells chicken, right?
That sells mainly chicken. So
Although they
it
are
ha-
coming out with a vegan.
no,
I
I
think they
saw it.
just came out.
Yeah.
But well, so tell us what you're doing now. Are you doing any classes online, or you've got
The
cookbooks coming up?
garden.
The
The
garden.
garden.
Not
Well,
you're not planning on doing any books or any.
yeah, that I'm supposed to be. Do you know Casey Taff? Casey is vegetarian books. Or so I'm supposed to be doing, because one of the other things I do at VegFest is that I become a pirate, Captain James T. Cook, pirate of the Caribbean, and I teach kids about healthy eating. So we have lots of fun classes, like we make sushi and we make fruit and vegetable kebabs, and we make things with chocolate and make chocolate balls. And the whole premise is that they have to use 5 different colors. So they have to use 5 different fruit and vegetables, or both, something red, something orange, something yellow, something green, and something blue. And so that's kind of mainly the theme of it. So this character is quite larger than life, and I have this book of an adventure with the pirate that I need to write, but I've just been too busy with everything doing the garden.
Well,
I mean, the upside is we've got this fantastic area in our garden now where we can have people come and stay, and we can distance, so we can socialize again. But
well, I'm coming. I'm actually going to
actual work.
Yeah,
actual work.
That's not happening anytime soon. You're retiring.
I've got to do the book, and I've got another cookbook as well to write. But the trouble is now, when I was at Tainamara, I had a point to prove, because there was no one. So
you proved it.
Yeah, this can be done. If it can be done here, it can be done anywhere. But now there's people, just loads and loads and loads of people. There's these 2 guys, the Bosch boys. There's 2 guys who got together, and they've done loads of books, and they've done TV, and they've got products out and things. I don't know if I can be bothered now that there's so many. It's like you look on the shelves now, and
there's vegan books everywhere.
It's just this whole shelves of vegan cookbooks. Every restaurant chain has got a vegan version of their. The ones that actually do actual food rather than burgers and boxes of nuggets.
I was on Richard Branson's cruise. I was on Richard Branson's cruise ship early December before Omicron really hit, and lo and behold, I'm in this one store, and there's a prominently displayed vegan travel book.
Oh yeah.
It's a vegan lifestyle book, but it was about vegan travel as well. So yeah, I mean,
Fantastic.
It's everywhere. That's Richard Branson for you anyway. He likes that kind of stuff.
Well, it was his nephew that did. I can't remember if it was before we came on air that we were talking about it, but my friends have brought out this film called Eating Ourselves to Extinction, and the director and producer are, one of them at least is a nephew of Richard Branson, and he's quite sort of proved to me it can be done and it's viable.
Right.
So they had to get it to a certain stage, and then he's sort of like, okay, now I'm going to help you because it's really good. I like it. So he's in the film, and also he helped them. He put them in touch with people, and then I think gave them a bit of money to promote it. So they had
he needs to teach his uncle how to become a vegan.
Well, they've been trying, and
I know they have.
He says in the film, he admits in the film it's the way forward. He certainly put a lot of money into new vegan foods and things.
Yeah.
So he's there in his head. Yeah.
He'll get there.
He knows he should.
Yeah, he knows he should. I want to share this one picture with you. It's not the picture you sent me. It's another one. I want you to tell me where this place is. The name of this place. This is the place you were
goodness.
telling me, the stone. It's a B&B, right?
Oh, Aaron, yeah.
I just
Stonewater
changed
House.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I met this couple in at one of the veg fests in London, and
Are you there?
I don't think they were talking to one of my friends that said you've got to meet Tony, or whether we just all ended up down the pub. But the guy looks just like Richard Gere.
What?
So I was taking the mickey out of him all the whole evening, saying, "Oh yeah, Richard." He's got a beard now, but he looks just the spit of Richard Gere. So that was the first funny thing. But they said, "Oh yeah, we're moving up to Scotland and we're starting up this little vegan B&B."
Wait, is this him here? This is him here, right? No,
Yeah,
that's
with the
not
glasses. Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Okay.
If you take the glasses off and the
Yeah,
shorten
I
the
can
beard,
see
like
where
when
you
I
think
saw
that.
him.
Right.
Yeah. But beautiful place, Aaron.
And where is this located?
It's just north of Glasgow. So if you go west of Glasgow to the coast, and then you can get a ferry to Arran. It's a big island.
Okay.
What else happened on Arran? Arran jumpers, whiskey.
I might have to go check this out. This looks beautiful. This
Yeah,
location looks beautiful.
But they're kind of doing something similar. So they just got a few rooms and they're doing lovely breakfasts and they're helping people go out and enjoy the scenery.
And we don't have to walk down a steep mountain with our
know,
luggage.
I think they're quite close to where the ferry comes in, or to the jetty. So yeah, it's much more. It's much easier to get. It's easier to get to, apart from the fact that you have to get a ferry to get there.
Yeah.
So you are a bit dependent on the notorious CalMac ferries, Caledonian McBrain.
Well, this has been great catching up with you after 25 years.
I'm not sure it's interesting for everyone else, but
no, it is.
Time.
Because it is a lot of history on vegan travel, and you were a part of it. And so you were a major part of it, actually. I think I sent people to you. So how can people, where can people find you on the internet and otherwise?
Probably the easiest and quickest is Twitter. So I'm Bishop Weston on Twitter.
Okay. And
I'm on Instagram as, I think I'm Vegan Chef UK on Instagram. But it's easier. I'm usually quite active on Twitter, so it's easier to find me there.
Okay.
I'm a bit less diligent at posting pictures on Instagram, whereas Twitter, somebody's always asking me questions or chatting on there.
Good. I'll have to follow you on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter as much as I should. I'm more on Instagram, but that's okay.
Well, it can. Well, that's your business, isn't it? It's like showing places and pictures and stuff. So I do that for food, but most of the time I'm just, Twitter's it's kind of the best and the worst,
right?
Because it can be a vile place, but after a while you just start to chill out and you just laugh at the angry. If you just take that attitude, you're just going to laugh at all the angry, stupid people, and just ignore them or just politely.
So if they want your pictures of your food, to go to Instagram. If they want to have a good laugh, go on Twitter. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, it was great catching up with you, and
thank you.
Again, if people have questions, please post them, and Tony will be happy to answer them. And if you want the recipe, please post it in the chat, and we'll send it off to you. And thank you guys.